So by now, I'm sure you must be frustrated by looking at Sofi and the price movement it has given us in the last few weeks. Our other stocks looks like are moving nicely, and especially today, except Sofi. But what if I told you that the price movement that you see has nothing to do with the stock or the company? I mean, their users are growing, their app downloads are increasing, and yes, you can call it Rivian IPO or SoFi Stadium, but that's all a part of the marketing effort. Not everyone is going to be their customer, but more people know about SoFi than a month back. So let me share some insight and I will show you why SoFi stock is not going to move much unless this one thing happens. So let's discuss that more in this video. And if you enjoy content like this, which I'm sure you will because again, I'm sharing some amazing information in this video, then don't forget to give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing. For one-on-one conversation, consider joining our Patreon and Discord. Links are in the description below. So let's start with the trend. So what I'm going to show you first is basically Google Trend that's tracking three things: SoFi, SoFi stock, and SoFi Stadium. Now you can see clearly that SoFi as a term has been the most popular. So the blue one is SoFi right here, the red one is SoFi stock, and the yellow one is SoFi Stadium. So among the three, SoFi stock is the least popular, as you can see at the bottom. So this is what shows that SoFi and SoFi Stadium has been trending more. That means more and more people, those who are not investors, but users, doesn't matter if they're going for a game, doesn't matter if they're logging in to check their money, are basically searching for SoFi, which is a great news, especially on times like these when the user spike or the name spike is high for these two terms, SoFi and SoFi Stadium, but the SoFi stock is low. That clearly shows that people are searching for SoFi for other than the SoFi stock. Same thing happened in the December 15 timeline when the name spike was really high along with the SoFi Stadium spike, but the stock was kind of on a downtrend, which is again very exciting. When these two kind of moves together, if you see over here, there's a spike over here, there's a spike. That's not very interesting because Google Trend could be seeing the SoFi stock, it has SoFi term in it, and then attaching it and then showing these spikes. But when SoFi stock is going down and SoFi as a term and SoFi Stadium is going up, that means more and more users are searching for SoFi or SoFi Stadium. Now, I have shared this in my previous video that SoFi's app download doubled in November as compared to October, and I expect the trend to continue in the coming months due to the football season, of course, and year-end consumer demand, and also because of amazing sales and marketing effort they're doing. But does it really matter what or how the business is doing? I mean, the stock is stuck in the same range for a long time and it looks like it's taking forever for the stock to come out. So now I'm going to share a few things with you that will show you what's going on with SoFi and why we are not seeing the price movement as we are seeing in some other sectors. So first, let's talk about sector. Fintech as a sector is still not seeing the rotation. Take a look at this chart right here. So this is Fintech ETF right here as the whole sector ETF. And we saw that in January and February, we had this huge spike where all the money come into the Fintech sector. And since then, after February, so this was February right here, and this was January. So after January, the money started to come in. And since then, money has been going out. We are in the end of December and money is still going out or not coming back into the fintech sector, as we saw in the last few months of 2020 and also in the beginning of 2021. So the sector as a whole is still suffering. Along with that, take a look at this. This is growth ETF. So when Fintech ETF was growing up right here, as you can see, January, February, 2 points here, and this is January, February, growth, or the people in the growth investments, they were taking the fund out and they were putting into the Fintech. So you can see easily correlation over here where the Fintech sector was all the way high, the growth sector was down. And then since then, the Fintech sector has started to come down and the growth sector has started to go up. One of the things to note over here is that in October and November timeframe, both Fintech and growth were down. So this is basically right here is November. And as you can see, since October, we saw a decline into the growth sector. Since then, I would say in the beginning of December, when we had that huge sell-off, the money has started to come back into the growth sector, but it has not happened for the fintech sector. Fintech sector is still suffering. And that's why we are seeing that some of the stock are really trading high or seeing some green days. But some of the fintech and our favorite ones are actually not seeing any price movement or not very drastic price movement. If you pay attention, this is the growth ETF for Vanguard, and these are the top 10 holding for Vanguard growth ETF. Apple, Microsoft, Alphabet, Amazon, Tesla, Nvidia, Meta, Home Depot, Adobe, and Visa. All these are seeing green, and there is more and more money that's coming into that sector every day since we came out of that big sell-off. Now take a look at the ARK-F of basically ARK's Fintech fund. Now ARK's Fintech fund saw a huge influx of money in January, February, again, same, following the sector when all the money came in, And since then we see it bleeding, the same thing over here. Since then we see the whole Fintech, or I would say the whole ARK-F bleeding. The money has been continuously coming out and we haven't seen any influx of money in ARK-F as well. Take a look at some of the ARK-F holdings. Square, Coin, Shop, Twilio, Path, and T-Dog, Hood, all these companies, they are not seeing the gains as other companies, or as you can see, these are not seeing the gains as Apple or Microsoft or Alphabet or Tesla are seeing the gains. So there's definitely evidence over here that growth stocks are doing good. We all know Tesla did amazing today, Apple did amazing today, and of course with the MasterCard's new study that came out that showed that the retail spending went up, it's all good sign for all these, of course, growth companies. But Fintech, again, is benefiting because, again, how are people charging? How are people paying for this stuff? So Fintech is definitely gaining or market share, or I should say Fintech is definitely doing good, but investors are not convinced yet to put the money back into the Fintech. So now it's obvious that it's not SoFi's fault or any one stock's fault for the price movement, but there is something that is taking place on SoFi which is odd, and there is no possible explanation except that someone really likes the volume on this stock. Take a look at this image. So this is a trade image of SoFi. Basically, this is the bid and this is the ask on this side. And one thing to note over here, and I've actually compared some other stocks to kind of show you a full picture. If you pay attention over here, look, 1539 is the bid, 1538, 37. There is a 1 cent bid, and you see all this volume coming in every cent. And there is a 1 cent ask right here. So bid is 1539, ask is 1540, and you see the volume over here, 5300, 3300, 2100, 2100. These are all algos basically trading SoFi stock. Now this is not only just SoFi, the same thing happens with any stock that is being under pressure right now. Doesn't matter if it's SoFi or take a look at Disney. Right here is a Disney chart, and as you can see, Disney chart also follows the same pattern, 152.76, 152.75, 152.74, and every cent by cent increase all the way you keep going down, and you see over here 50, 51, 53, 54, and then it keeps on going until 76 right here. Of course, the time that I took the snapshot here or the screenshot. So you can see over here, and same thing, asking is 78, 79, 80, 81, 82, 83. So this side is going up, this side, of course, ask is coming down. So the only thing that differentiates between what we see in Disney over here, where we have these 100 stocks or 1000 stocks or 73 stocks or just 22 stocks, is if you pay attention to SoFi over here. SoFi has a massive volume. Of course, the share price is less, but this shows more of a algo trading that's happening over here than individual trading. Because anytime if you see individual trading over here, like 86 over here, see 16, and then we jumped 17 and we went straight to 18, because these were two individuals basically buying 86 shares and then 61 shares. Anytime if we have large number of shares like 3,000, 2,000, 2,000 again, we have these 1 cent increase in bid and ask. So this is really, really interesting. Now, I would like to bring your attention to Tesla. So take a look at Tesla. Of course, by the volume, you can see that these are all the individuals buying Tesla stock. 1 share, 4 share, 2 shares, 4 share over here. The price or the bid and ask on Tesla is different. Over here, if you see 1107.34, then it's 29. It's not that 1 cent increase or decrease that we saw in SoFi and on Disney. Over here, you can see it's 15, 14, 13, but then it jumped to 7, it jumped to 2, it jumped to 99, then straight it jumped to 90. So these are all individuals trading. These are not computers or algos that's trading. But with SoFi, and there are a few others, of course, SoFi is not the only one, where we see more and more algos basically coming in. Anytime they see a price movement, they come in and they dump a bunch of shares. That kind of restricts the price, and of course the volume is not huge enough that it can take over the algos, or retailers are coming in groups and buying the stock. So this is really interesting of what's going on with some of these stocks, and unless until we see this kind of pattern change where algos pay attention to some other sector which is more lucrative for them, we will see this price kind of stuck in that range for a while, unless we see some huge positive catalyst or a report that comes out that fintech is going to kind of grow by 10% or 15% next year. Then we'll see more and more hedge funds, more and more institutions are going to come and put their money into some of these stocks that has not performed very well. Disney, in my opinion, is a wonderful stock. Of course, it's a reopening stock, and Omicron has really depressed this stock, but I think 2022 is going to be amazing for Disney as well. So if I look SoFi as a stock, this would be the perfect time because it's not very volatile in terms of the pricing, and of course the graph is really down. That means this is the perfect time to buy options. But unless we see some more positive movement in the stock for a few days, the Theta decay will kill the options. I saw large trades for January 2023 options for SoFi for $15 strike call. Pay attention to this right here. So these are some of the calls that came in, and look, 20 January 2023, 20 January 2023, all of them were for 20 January 2023 for a strike of $15, and these were calls, and these are the number of calls. So 200 calls, 188, 192, 200, all these calls basically they were being traded today for 20 January 2023. So you can make so many things from these trades that you see on your screen, but I'm not buying anything on SoFi, no options or no stock yet until I see a rotation in the sector. I'm positive that we are going to see a rotation where we will have the positive sentiment around the market for the sector, for the fintech sector. And then when more and more funds, retailers will start feeling bullish again, then we might see the same price movement with the volume that will help sustain, of course, elevated prices for a few days. And that's when I'll feel comfortable with options again. Now, we have so much data on what's going on the sectors where the money is flowing right now and what kind of bets are being made. I think we will see rotation soon, and that is why I'm giving until January 7th to see if we have a rotation. And if not, then I will start liquidating some options which expires in February and March, as we are approaching a time where the time decay will kill them. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss on important updates like these. Thank you for joining me, and hope I was able to provide you some value. And in a follow-up video, I'll share the short interest on SoFi and how it's turning out to be interesting as the price is moving. It's not what you think. If you enjoyed this video, then give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing. And if you would like to speak one-on-one with a wonderful community, then consider joining our Discord. Links are in the description below. As always, an absolute pleasure to share all of this with you. Until next time, you all have a sparkling day.